That's Russ, and this is my take on the new UKF3A entry-level schedule. See bottom left there, I just put 10 mile-an-hour winds, which is going to go down the runway, so that you can see what happens with the wind direction. It's 5 aerobatic manoeuvres, and the takeoff and landing is judged. So make the takeoff and landing nice and neat. Make it straight, climb out to a sensible height, and do a 180-degree turn downwind. And this takeoff sequence finishes judging when you fly what they call over the centre flag. So in other words, when it's abeam yourself, you'll see a tall tree there, so that's my centre flag. And once that's finished, you get a free turn round. And I'm going to do half reverse Cuban 8 here. You see on the bottom right hand side, it gives you suggested turnaround manoeuvres, right and left, but they're not mandatory and they're not judged. So you run back in for the first aerobatic manoeuvre, which is judged, which is a loop. And I've got the power up and make the entry fairly gentle because you're going against the wind. Power's going to come off quite early at the top of the loop here because of the wind, and then come back in as soon as we pass sort of 3 o'clock to power the aircraft back down to the base. So another free turn round that suggests a inland turn, but I'm going to do another half reverse Cuban 8 actually, because I want the aircraft to be positioned far upwind. I don't want it to be rushed when we do the next manoeuvre, which is a roll, and I don't want to do that too high. So I've done half reverse Cuban 8, and we come in for a nice gentle slow roll. It should be nice and level, about 3 or 4 seconds probably. And again, the turnaround manoeuvre, if you've gone up high, you do a split S to come down, but I'm going to do a stall turn, so I don't go too far downwind, but it allows me to turn around, descend the aircraft back down to a sensible height, and give plenty of time to run in for the next manoeuvre, which is 3 or 4 seconds worth of inverted flight. So roll the aircraft 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and roll it back again. So that's the inverted flight, little wobble there. And again, it now suggests a stall turn, but done into wind, they can sometimes flop over. So I'm going to do a normal half a Cuban 8, which is a bit of a cheat because there's one full Cuban 8 coming up in a minute. So it gives me a free practice. And of course, the full Cuban starts a fair bit past the centre line, so there's plenty of room. So now we start the full Cuban 8. Well, up tightish to start with because of the wind, and then ease the elevator off, keep the throttle up to fly the aircraft back into the wind, and look for that 45-degree downline, half roll halfway down, keep the power on, and extend it so that it doesn't tighten up this part of the loop too much. And then as we come over the top, power back quite early and all the way off. So going downwind, roll the aircraft again, and finish the Cuban 8. We then need to climb for the last manoeuvre, which is going to be a 3-turn spin. You could do it vertical, as shown on the suggestion there, but if the model's struggling to do that, do it at 45 degrees, no problem. If you're not happy flying it inverted, roll as I've done, and get yourself to the top. Nice and high to do the spin, give yourself plenty of room, 3 turns, left or right obviously, and pretty near the centre line is what you're looking for. So, not sure when it starts to be judged, but certainly there, and as the model stops, and it must fall into a spin, mustn't flick in, so there it goes into the spin, 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, correct for the wind on the way down again, so it comes vertical and pull out at the bottom of the base heights. You then start the landing manoeuvre, which is going to be 2 180-degree turns. So turn downwind and then 180-degree turn onto final. And remember, of course, that this is being judged as well. So everything's got a K factor of 1. So a takeoff and a landing is judged exactly the same harshness and difficulty as, say, the Cuban 8 or the inverted flight. So do your best to make the takeoff and landing as neat as you possibly can as well. So there you go, 5 manoeuvres, 5 aerobatic manoeuvres, and takeoff and landing. Most aircraft should be capable of doing it. Turnarounds are free, so you can do whatever suits you and the aircraft best, or you can follow the suggestions. But that's my take on it, and that is the new entry level schedule for UKF3A.